This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
Just how they are.
That's fine.
Oh, broski. All right, so much to talk about this week. So much premiere. No, never mind.
Yeah.
So many big things. No, never mind.
Yeah.
But MLS, never mind.
Waza scored a worldie.
Damn, the Red Sox. Never mind.
There's still time. There's still time for that.
Oh yeah, there's time.
Jackie Bradley has at least. Jackie Bradley has at least 4 more at-bats in him tonight. It's fine.
Seriously, the way this game's going. All right, they have just started the top of the 5th. They're on the first pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what finishes first, this game or us, because I will so put my money on us. It's not.
Oh, absolutely. Well, especially this week. Even on a normal week, we'd probably finish first, but especially tonight.
Yeah, totally.
I am following along on Gamecast on my phone. So
I am watching it. I have it on. I'm watching it with mine in sparkling high definition eyes.
Yes, you had the surgeries.
Yeah, had my LASIK yesterday, man, and I'm sitting here sans contacts, sans eyeglasses, and I'm actually seeing my TV better than I ever did in contacts.
Wow, that's really good, actually.
It was well worth having to sell a kidney to do this.
I feel like at some point I'm going to do it. I don't know when.
Well, I will tell you, if you do decide to do it, it was the guy I went to was over on Millbrook Road in Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I mean, it could not. They do a free consultation, and then I had 3 appointments this week. I had a pre-surgery appointment on Monday, where they just ran tests and did stuff like that just to get ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
I went yesterday for the surgery. The entire surgery, I spent an hour sitting in the waiting room just waiting for my turn, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But, once I went back there and did it, it literally took 10 minutes total.
Wow.
And under the actual laser, you do both eyes for about a combined total of 30 seconds each. It's 2 separate lasers that they do. The first one's about 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And the one after that, the second one's like 8 seconds. And, I felt nearly nothing. Nothing. They numb your eye enough where I guess he was in there with a hook scraping things off. If he was, I didn't feel it.
Okay.
The worst feel I had was on the way home. It kind of felt like your eyes when they're irritated a little bit.
Oh wow! I didn't even realize it was outpatient still, or at least like where you don't have to wear like the dilated eyeglasses or something like that.
I wore my sunglasses out. Of course, I did mine a little later in the day yesterday. Mine was at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So we left out of there about 5:45 when we left the office, and it was a little overcast. But I had on sunglasses. Now I haven't driven at night yet. We rode home. It was dark last night. And I kind of had like a little halo effect from headlights coming at me.
Okay.
But once again, that was an hour out of surgery.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Today it's just like looking through brand new eyes, man.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very easy. I would, at this point now, I haven't, like I said, I've had it for 28 hours at this point. I mean, I would recommend it. It's, I love not having to put anything on anymore.
Yeah, nice.
So, if you ever think about it, I'll give you the guy who I went to. He was very cool, very nice,
Sure.
nice office. And what I liked was, he literally taught me through the entire thing, like while he was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, here's what we're doing now. And okay, all right, the laser's going. The laser's already going, so it's going to be 17 seconds. You're doing great. You're doing great. Keep looking at, So, all you have to do is just, you lay there and just like stare up at a light.
So basically, it's like giving birth, is what it was that sort of ease, really.
Giving birth.
Yeah.
Sure. As a man, yes. As a man giving you his experience with childbirth, yes. All I had to do was sit there.
Sit there and look at the ceiling.
Sit there and look at the light.
Super easy.
Yeah. I mean, it was easy, man. And then next week I go to my eye doctor in Rocky Mount just for like about a 1 week checkup.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't have to go back. I think then I go back for like a 6-month checkup.
Who do you go to in Rocky Mount? I'm curious.
I've always gone to Dr. High at Rocky Mount Eye. It used to be Watson Eye.
Okay.
So I've gone to her since I was a kid, pretty much. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I go to. She's very nice.
Nice.
She's a little older. I mean, she's probably in her. I think she's a little younger than my parents, so she's probably like in her late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
But she's very nice, and she's the one who referred me to this guy. I went to Dr. Porter in Raleigh.
Gotcha.
So, and they gave me. I financed a bad boy. I ain't paying for it all up front. And, They gave me. I got 18 months, 0%. So I'm hoping
that's
to
not
have
bad.
it paid off of it. Yeah, it ended up costing me just a hair under $4,000 total.
Okay. Yeah, that's not so bad. I figured it'd be like in the 4,000 to 5,000 range. So.
Yeah, and actually, what they do, like if you wanted to finance it, I mean, you can put on your own card, obviously, or what I did, they've got some like health card that they'll go through, like a health credit that you can like run your credit through Wells Fargo.
Oh.
And I got approved for like $4,500, and it cost me $39.90.
Wow.
So, so I just took the card with me, and they billed it on Monday. They billed it, and, I'll start paying, I guess, next month. So I get 18 months at 0%. So,
Nice.
yeah, so, I mean, they make it, trust me, if my credit can get through. I've rehabilitated my credit a lot, but if mine can get through, I'm quite sure yours will get through.
Yeah, you and Jackie both.
Yeah, mine's creeping back near 700, but I haven't got quite there yet.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so just something to keep in mind if you ever want to do it. And, I mean, yeah, I could have gone to work today without a problem. I could go to work. I go back to work Friday night. I got a football game on Friday. I'm kind of looking forward to it now.
Yay. You'll be able to see everything going on in front of you.
Kind of actually looking forward to doing a football game. Daggone right, bitty abs. We are tied once again.
Oh, damn. So I'm like, still, as per usual, I'm slightly behind you. I just
base hit up the middle.
I just got news. Oh, so that was on like the first pitch?
Might have just been the first pitch, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I was still on the challenge that got it returned. So.
Okay. You saw it. Yeah.
So yeah. Yep, I'm good.
Chicken tendies.
Chicken tendies. So delicious. Delicious as the Foreign Affair podcast, which we are now going to start. Wes Bradshaw, episode 230.
Love that money.
Oh, make money. Episode 232 of the AFA pod. I'm at Edward Green. That's my Twitter handle, which we'll get to later on in the pod, of course.
Man, that's an end of the show thing.
got too ahead of myself there. I'm Edward Green, joined by my calling crime, Wes Bradshaw, and we are here to bring you the latest goings on in the world of soccer. Not too much to talk about this week.
Spoiler, no Premier League.
Yeah, we will discuss maybe a little bit about the upcoming week's matches, maybe just one of them, as well as the National League, or the Nations League, I guess it's called, for UEFA, where I'm sure Liverpool fans took absolutely no delight in something that happened this past weekend that brought Spurs and Liverpool fans together like never before, really. So that'll be fun to discuss a little bit. We also, of course, still have news and notes, Watch For, and So Raw. As always, the podcast is presented by NGSC Sports and NGSCSports.com. We never stop. And Wes, I texted you earlier this week that we had a new sponsor.
Oh, you did? And then you left me out there, and we're like, oh, you're just going to have to wait, mister.
Yes, sir. And if I had to introduce our new sponsor, I would start with this. Wes, as you know, I live by a few maxims in my life. None more steadfastly than the wise words of men long since forgotten, which go a little something like this. Too many waifus will ruin your lifeu. It's true. It's true. All those waifus, they'll ruin your waifu. Well, how do you control how many waifus you have? Well, you have one waifu, and then you have body pillows of the other waifus, so that you only have one, the main one, and then just body pillows of the rest. Where am I going with this? You can find you can find those pillows online at creepyanimebullshit.com. That is not the kind of pillows, though, that you will find at Alicia's Pillows and Things. Oh, no, my friend. These are much more high-quality pillows, which you can find at her Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things. You can find all sorts of handcrafted pillows, as well as other things, including some footstools, with your favorite sports teams' logos emblazoned on them. So go check it out at Alicia's Pillows and Things on Facebook.
All right.
That was it's only going to get worse from here, people. It really is.
I love a good pillow. I'm not gonna lie. I love a good pillow.
Oh, pillows are fantastic. So again, check it out. That's Alicia's Pillows and Things. Just type it up in the Facebook machine, and you'll find it on there. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff on there. So go definitely check it out, and reasonably priced too. Very reasonably priced. So with that, speaking of pillows and things, Wes, there is a Premier League this weekend, and I imagine that some section of fans will be needing a cuddle with a pillow after this week's games. The lineup, I don't imagine you'll be, although there's news from this past week.
Well, just so you know, I did receive a call to come suit up this week. So.
I'm not surprised. Oh, man. We'll get to that in a second. But at 7:30, again, this Saturday morning kicks off right. Chelsea versus Manchester United, battle at the Bridge. We'll see how Jose Mourinho does going back up against his former club. At 10 a.m., you have Man City, Burnley, Newcastle versus Brighton, West Ham versus Tottenham in a London derby, Wolves versus Watford, Cardiff, Fulham, Bournemouth versus Southampton, then at 12:30, Huddersfield versus Liverpool. On Sunday, you have Everton versus Crystal Palace at 11, and on Monday, you have Arsenal versus Leicester for some Monday night football on NBC Sports. But Wes, you alluded to it. I believe every player on Liverpool died on international break, so that's good.
Died, some were resurrected, but just injured.
Yeah. It's that kind of spoopy month of October. Tell us a little bit about what's been happening with the boys from Anfield on their long, strange international break.
Oh goodness, 4 key injuries.
Yeah.
Now, Ed, if there was one player on this Liverpool squad that I would just absolutely cringe hearing the injury bug, that would be Virgil van Dijk.
Yes.
And now here's kind of the I guess, silver line tint of the Van Dijk injury. He's been playing through this injury.
Yeah, which is interesting.
But it did turn out that he's had a couple of broken ribs.
Yeah.
Which cannot be easy to play football with broken ribs.
Yeah.
But that said, with broken ribs, he stormed home a header in the Netherlands-Germany match. The first time the Netherlands have beaten the Germans since 2002. That's a big rivalry. One that we don't really think about over here, but that's a huge rivalry. Of course, Germany with a long, long history of invading the Dutch. And also just on the football field, I mean, you look at the Cruyff teams and the great German team, the West German teams over the years. And it's a great rivalry. Van Dijk had been noted as saying, that, basically to paraphrase, you have to cut his legs off to keep him out of that match. He played, and then his manager, Ronald Koeman, did the right thing and sent him back to Anfield, or sent him back to Merseyside as soon as the match was over. Where they did discover the 2 broken ribs. Now, that said, he hasn't been completely ruled out of this weekend.
Yeah.
That said, also,
it's Huddersfield.
This should be a match that you can get by without Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
But with this, you do see where it's important, the emergence of Joe Gomez. Because now, I don't feel nearly as worried about a Gomez-Lovren partnership at that.
Right.
Once again, especially against Huddersfield or even Cardiff next week. You start dropping a United or a City or something, I might start gnawing some fingernails off. So Van Dijk is number 1, and to me, out of this group, the most important. That said, the next one is Mohamed Salah.
Yes.
who was only the PFA Player of the Year a season ago. Salah picking up a late injury on international duty.
Yeah, wasn't it like the 90th minute?
Yes, against God, what was the name of the country? It's like
Swaziland or something.
Swaziland, that's it. Which is just another one, and this is a time-honored Liverpool tradition of getting players hurt during the international break. That was only halfway through. As next, okay, hey, we got, this is why we went out and we signed, we signed Xherdan Shaqiri because, hey, if somebody gets hurt, we've got cover. It's okay. Oh, wait, now Sadio Mane's got a broken hand. Oh, sweet shit. So Mane shows back up, comes out of a hospital wearing a cast. Once again, he has not been ruled out of the match this weekend either. As of this point, Salah has been, and also our 4th injury, Naby Keita, who it looked like, okay, with Milner going down, this was the time for Naby Keita to step up and really show what he's going to do. And then he gets hurt on Guinea. Guinea? That's who he plays for?
Guinea, yeah.
Yeah, Guinea. So he got hurt. So, Jesus. So now we're sitting on 4 injuries to 4 of our first 11 players. As we say, luckily we do have some depth at center defense right now, and those guys look good. Really up front, if Jurgen can kind of reconfigure the lineup a little bit, just the way he lines up. We could easily plug in Sturridge, Shaqiri, and they once again the next couple of weeks those should be able to take care of things. And also now Adam Lallana is back and available for selection. Okay. So Lallana's available in midfield. Of course, Fabinho should be maybe time for Fabinho to start doing some things. Wijnaldum scored a goal against Germany. He's looking good. Jordan Henderson. So there is a mini injury crisis for Liverpool. Praise be to Jeebus. We are out of the gauntlet, and we are actually hitting the soft portion of the schedule. So maybe it'll come up Millhouse for us here.
Gotta wear those pants.
My cuffs, my feet are soaked, but my cuffs are bone dry. Oh, Millhouse. But so we'll see going forward. But this was a particularly harsh break. It doesn't look like there's anything here that should keep anyone out for a really extended period of time. With Van Dijk, it sounds like maybe they can just get him some rest the next few weeks because that's all you can do for broken ribs. Yeah, there's no rehab. It's just rest or pain management or pain tolerance. So, he's done pretty good with the pain tolerance to play through it. But now, hopefully, we got a couple weeks. Maybe we can let him get on the bend a little bit. So, so that's the Liverpool injury situation at the moment. Oh, and don't forget James Milner's out till November.
There you go.
Till the end of November, or maybe even the beginning of December. So we will put that depth to the test.
Well, you're talking about their upcoming schedule. Towards the next international break, Liverpool will play 4 Premier League matches against Huddersfield, Cardiff, Arsenal, and Fulham. So 3 wins you'd consider to be in the bag there.
And then we'll see what happens with Fulham.
Got you again, Arsenal.
Always get you, Arsenal.
So we'll see. But I believe you also have at least 1 or 2 Champions League matches?
And luckily, our Champions League matches, we are home and away with Red Star.
There you go.
Which, in our group, that's the best you can absolutely the best you can ask for.
And we'll get to them in a little bit. We have a little news and notes for them. Yeah. But before we jump from the Premier League to the UEFA Nations League, let us just do a quick preview of that Chelsea United match. Of course, United had been in a spot of bother for a long time, but last we saw them, they had the big comeback win against Newcastle at Old Trafford 3-2. Chelsea have looked very good to start the season. Still have not dropped a match yet. Just 2 draws, that weird one to West Ham, and then the late Daniel Sturridge equalizer for Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. So Wes, this is still a big test for Chelsea coming off an international break. With United maybe hoping to play a little bit more of a renewed spirit in their game, a little bit more of that attacking pressure that we saw. Although, Wes, knowing Jose Mourinho, we might just get a good old bus parking.
The thing with Mourinho is that, and this is in all seriousness, when you think when everyone is completely convinced Mourinho is going to do one thing, that's when he'll do something else.
Yeah.
The way they played that second half against Newcastle, I think everyone's kind of chomping at the bit. Oh, this is how United need to play. This is how we need to play. The problem is it's a lot easier to do that against Newcastle.
Sure.
Than it is to do that against Chelsea. Because Chelsea are going to be like, oh, please, God, play us open. Please play us open. We will press you to the damn wall and we will slaughter you on the counter. United can definitely get a draw. Mourinho also, if you look back, Mourinho has good success against teams that he's managed in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And, the thing is, a lot of this team is still the same for when he's there. He knows the personnel. He knows their weaknesses. This is one, it obviously looks like it should be a Chelsea win all day.
Mm-hmm.
This is a spot that I can see Man United finding a result. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they could pull a result out of this, and they could do it. They could do it easily pull a result out of this match.
Do you think though that United will come into this game looking to just set back and keep 9 guys behind the ball and just kind of chill back there, or do you think that they might actually try to step up and use Pogba going forward a little bit more and let him sort of be that box to box guy he was the final 40 minutes or so against Newcastle?
I more believe that we're going to see negative Mourinho.
Okay.
Mourinho is so somewhat risk averse. And the problem is that is such a big risk to try to go at Chelsea right now with what United have and the form that United are in. It would be really, really risky for them to do that.
Mm.
And also, for United, where Chelsea is for United, getting a point, it would be big just because it is against one of the top tier teams and they could use the point.
Yeah, absolutely. Because right now, where United stand in their table after the not so hot start to the season, they're currently in 8th place, 2 points behind Wolves of all teams, who started the season, of course, very well. for that 7th place spot, and they're currently 5 points out of a Champions League spot, trailing currently Arsenal and Tottenham, who are right there at 18. So this is definitely a spot where you want at least one, and especially so you don't lose more ground on Chelsea, who are currently tied for the Premier League lead, although we do expect Liverpool and City to get 3 points this weekend. So, but again, Chelsea, if they do come back to earth and play maybe a little more how we thought they would at the beginning of the season, and United does pick it up a little bit, that could be direct competition for 4th place. So, that getting a point against them on the road would be very big for them.
And I'd say right now, especially just the way the Premier League is kind of shaping out, where right now you've got those definitive top 3 teams. And then the thing is, the next 2, for as definitively good as we all say those top 3 are, you've got Arsenal and Tottenham. They're 2 points behind them all. I mean, that's crazy. It looks to be one of those years where the top is really strong. And once again, that's with 2 teams who everybody's kind of torn apart already, being 2 points out of first at this point.
I also do wonder, just to piggyback on that a little bit, last year I think we saw, there was Man City, then there was the power gap, then it was like, who finished? Oh, United. United was weird, a weird 2nd place team, and then it was like Tottenham and Liverpool were like, and then there was a bit of a power gap again, and then it was like Chelsea and Arsenal.
Well, even though late in the season Chelsea kind of made it look close, mostly because Liverpool was concentrating on their Champions League run. But yeah, there was a definite hierarchy in different places last year. And
also I think the bottom half of the table just wasn't very good. I think that's different this year, because I don't expect Bournemouth and Wolves to stay in 6-7 all year. But I think they're both really good teams, and I think Leicester is a really good mid-table club. I know we give Everton a lot of shit, but I still think they're a half-decent mid-table club. Burnley is fine. Palace is fine. We've seen already what West Ham can do on their day. I think there's a lot more teams that can trip you up this year, and that are going to be fighting for points than there was last year in this table. Like, the bad teams are probably really bad, like Huddersfield and Cardiff, but I think that that bottom 3 or 4 is in a class to themselves, and then the rest are like in a big jumbled mess where anybody on a given day can come up and bite you. So
I agree with that. But that said, the top of the league right now, those guys they've taken care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, through all their matches, Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool still have yet to take a loss. Wolves have only lost just 1 game this year. Arsenal and Tottenham both just 2, but the same amount of wins as City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So very close there at the top. We're going to move on now to the UEFA Nations League, the first edition of this insanely weird project. So just some interesting results from this past international break. Wes, you talked about Netherlands and Virgil van Dijk. They did get a big 3-0 win over Germany at the Johan Cruyff Arena. That took a turn for the worse. Depay and Wijnaldum also with goals in that game. Hey, Memphis Depay is still alive. Good for him. And then France turned around and also beat Germany. Antoine Griezmann with the late winner in that one. And so here's the weird thing about how this whole Nations League thing works. So there's, in case you're not familiar, and believe me, it took me about 5 read-throughs before I got kind of familiar. 4 groups. Well, there's 4 groups. There's 4 leagues. There's League A, B, C, and D. And in each league, there's 4 groups. In the top league, League A, there's 3 teams in each group. So in Group 1, you have
good ones.
Yes. In Group 1, you have France, Netherlands, Germany. 2 is Belgium, Switzerland, Iceland. Group 3 is Portugal, Italy, and Poland. And then Group 4 is Spain, England, Croatia. And so the interesting thing is the winner of each group, you play double round robin. Winner of each group, which is, again, only like 4 matches, Winner of each group goes to this Nations League finals thing next year, which is, I'm sure, will be just an awesome little tournament that they have. It'll be
Sure.
great. The third place team in each group gets relegated to Group B, or to League B. God, fuck. So they go to League B with some other great teams that I'm sure exist in League B, like wait, that's not it. Who's in League B? Who's in League B? Fuck me. Who is this team? What are these teams? Oh god, League B. Okay, teams like Slovakia and Russia and Sweden and B&H and Northern Ireland and Wales. So it does kind of work like so League B teams, if you win your group, you come up to League A. But this sets up like a really weird thing, Wes, where Germany, with one match to go, is in last place in their group. And so they could get relegated to League B, which just kind of blows my mind a little bit. Same thing in Group 4. Like, England did get a big 3-2 win against Spain, which we can talk about a little bit. But that was so they could get away from Croatia a little bit, because without that, that they might have dropped. It's such a weird thing, and I know they did it so the best teams could play each other more in these international breaks and friendlies and stuff, but it just seems like a really weird thing, and like I don't see how it makes some teams get better if they're not able to play better competition, like especially the teams in League B and League C who aren't going to be able to play friendlies against the Frances and the Belgiums and the Spains of the world. So this to me is still just kind of a clusterfuck, Wes.
Well, Jurgen Klopp said it's the most ridiculous thing going right now. So I think a lot of people kind of agree with him. There's some buzz over that England-Spain match, just because, it was a really good performance by England. Albeit Jordan Pickford suddenly thinking that he's Allison. But by God, Raheem Sterling scored for England.
Oh, Raza.
It's got to mean something, right?
If only he had done that a couple months ago.
Jesus, yes. If only he'd done it when it mattered. In a tournament that mattered, not this second-rate bullshit. But I don't know. I know with this that there's a way into the Euros, but I don't know. At the same time, now for somebody like Germany, things are certainly not going well because not only are they not playing well, but this is really highlighting that they're not playing well because these games, quote, mean something.
Yeah.
And the Germans are really faltering at the moment. People are going so far as to say, is this the end of the line for Jurgen Low? And there's just a lot to this, and it seems like right after the World Cup, it should almost be like, okay, now's the time to relax, and managers should get the chance to kind of blood in new players and try some new things, but it's like they're immediately thrown right into the fire. So I think it's stupid. Once again, I don't like my damn players getting hurt on international breaks. But I think it's stupid. It's kind of cool. It does give you some good. It gives you some cool matches. God, you got France, Germany, and England, Spain this week.
True.
Internationally, and they meant something. It wasn't just friendlies where, So, as a fan of the international game, you should love this. I can completely see where the club teams and the club managers are not happy about this one bit.
Yeah. So what you do get for finishing in the top, those four best finishers in League A, you automatically get seeded as a pot 1 team in Euro 2020 qualifying.
Okay.
So that is what they're playing for. So for a team like, I believe, the Netherlands, who could theoretically go into pot 2, they can, if they somehow finish first, which I don't think they're going to, but if they finish first in their group, they could become a pot 1 team. So that kind of matters, I guess. Sort of.
Sure.
Any hoozles. So that's that. Real quick, though, on that England-Spain game, before we move on to news and notes, I mentioned earlier the Liverpool and Spurs fans coming together. The Eric Dyer challenge onto Sergio Ramos, which he got a yellow card for despite winning the ball, was a little odd, but it may have also been because it was about a 25-yard run-up that he took to eventually go in there to try and win the ball. But I did see online that quite a few Spurs and Liverpool fans and just Sergio Ramos haters really enjoyed that hit.
Which there are many.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. I wish he'd broken his fucking leg, but anyway. But, hey, give Ramos credit. Ramos came up and said, hey, that's how you play the game. That's how you play. So, I'll give it to Ramos. He didn't throw any conniption or hissy fit about it. He was like, well, I mean, that's how I play. So what should I expect from everyone else? That's how I play. So come at me.
Yeah.
Come at me, bro.
And then he, stamped on Raza. Allegedly. It's fine.
And at that point, I'm sitting there like, who's the villain?
Yeah, it's still
Who's the villain?
It's Ramos.
It's definitely Ramos. But it's kind of like you get in a movie where the villain takes out maybe a lesser villain. It's like he turns on him, and it's kind of like, I'm not sad to see this guy go. I'm not sad to see Raheem Sterling get stomped.
Oh man. Well,
hey, if Sterling has his way, they might be teammates coming up. Get out! Oh, Jesus, off the wall.
Oh, damn.
Oh my goodness. Come on, Vasquez, get your ass in a second. Thank you, son.
Hell yeah. Christian Vasquez. Oh, good things happen when we do these. I'm sure this will go about 20 innings because we're potting tonight.
Another foot and that was gone. Jesus.
Fun game. Speaking of fun games in the United States, as we hit the news and notes, and Sergio Ramos' club, Real Madrid utterly oppose La Liga matches in USA in letter to Federation, according to Gianni Verschuren over at Bleacher Report. I'm sure I did not say that correctly.
I'm sure you did.
Real Madrid have sent a letter to the La Liga Federation stating that they utterly oppose, that's in quotes, the plan to play the Girona-Barcelona match this January. The Cadena SER published a letter which highlighted the fact even four U.S.-based supporter clubs have changed their opinion on the fixtures and now agree that La Liga contest should stay in Spain. The letter was signed by General Manager Jose Angel Sanchez Perianes, and it said matches in the U.S. would jeopardize the, quote, integrity and fairness of the competition. It also lamented the lack of communication from La Liga, an issue many parties have brought up. Adrian Garcia of ESPN said Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, was one of many opposed to the idea. So I'm not. Every time I feel like we hear about this, Wes, it seems like, yay!
Time out. You just fucking called it.
I sometimes I call these things.
Jesus Christ.
I believe some people will be able to go back in this podcast and hear where I said Jackie Bradley still has at bats tonight. Jackie Bradley just gave the Red Sox the lead. Much bigger than this news. But anyway, Wes, back to this story. Every time I feel like we talk about this, it's still, well, they haven't gotten FIFA approval, and most of the other clubs still hate the idea, and nobody really wants to do this except maybe Barcelona and Girona, and obviously the group that's putting this on, whose name I'm forgetting. Relevant.
Stilatana.
Yes, Charlie Stilatana.
Just know it's Charlie Stilatana. That's all I got.
And Relevant Sports. I don't know that there's much more we can say about this at this point, but okay, let's do this. I'm going to put the odds at 65% these games happen. Am I too low or too high?
I just think they're going to happen because I think they've signed the contract.
Okay.
I mean,
but then what if FIFA comes out and says, no, you can't do this?
Well, yeah, I mean, that could obviously change everything. Wow, can you imagine the shit that's going to go down on that?
Oh, it'd be lovely. I'd love it.
I think they'll at least play this year.
Okay.
I think they'll at least play this year. I mean, obviously, the next 10 years, we'll have to see about that. But, yeah, I think they at least play this year.
Okay. So we'll, of course, any more updates on this we'll be bringing to you guys. We will see how this goes. This could be. I mean, it's already kind of a shit show. This could turn into a very big shit show.
It's just getting better.
And speaking of shit shows that just keep getting better, our other news and notes story for the week. French authorities investigate whether the PSG game against Red Star was fixed. This is coming to us from The Guardian over in England. French authorities are investigating whether a Champions League game involving PSG and Red Star Belgrade was fixed. Both clubs have strongly denied wrongdoing after L'Equipe reported that a Red Star official was suspected of betting €5 million on the team losing by 5 goals in a match PSG won 6-1. It is understood UEFA passed on suspicions to the French authorities after the game in Paris. France's Financial Prosecutor's Office confirmed an investigation had been opened, but declined to comment on the report. Red Star said they're obviously, we didn't do it. This is bullshit. PSG expressed, quote, amazement and indignation. So I feel like, not to be stereotypical or whatever, PSG doesn't have, maybe I would say, the squeaky cleanest ownership that would be opposed to maybe doing such things like this. Not that I'm insinuating or alleging anything. I just, it's just that oil money, man. I don't know how much I trust it. And while this may be nothing, this may have been a one-off. Obviously, this would be horrible for PSG if it was. I don't think, if it's not true, nothing's really going to come of it because there's not any defamation lawsuits that can come out of it. But Wes, if this is true, and PSG and Red Star, or at least some people in the organization had knowledge of this, and obviously then the players would have had to too. I mean, the fallout from something like this would be catastrophic, I think.
Especially when you take into account, this is PSG who's trying to make themselves a wide player.
Yes.
And to their credit, have done it to this point, and are really trying to take that step. I mean, they are right in the conversation as one of the elite clubs in the world at this point. Especially when you come to marketing, they have really ramped up their marketing. The Jordan contract has been huge. Also, when you take a look at, really since we've had the massive explosion over the last decade of football especially in the American market, we haven't dealt with this.
Yeah.
The last great scandal, match fixing, was Serie A, which happened in 2005, 2006. Which was right before Italy won that World Cup, while Juventus was getting sent down to Serie B. That was the last real match-fixing scandal that we've had on in any sort of a large scale, that would be on the big-time scene. And once again, back then, the United States, they weren't paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, the U.S.'s biggest indoctrination of football is the Premier League, and this has nothing to do with the Premier League. But the Champions League is getting big. Those rights have exploded. And to now turn around and see one of the premier teams of the Champions League, if they get embroiled in this and they're found guilty of this, that cannot, I'll just say it cannot help FIFA or UEFA one bit for it to happen.
Well, and especially with all the corruption stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's already corruption around it. But you always say, well, the corruption was on the field. And now suddenly it's like, oh, it is on the field. Mm-hmm. And it's not some second rate, it's not the champions of Moldova or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is PSG. This is Neymar. This is Mbappe. This is, this is one of those major world brands. Mm-hmm. And that's not good, man. That is not a good look for anyone.
Now, I will just let me ask you this. Since it was a Red Star official that did the betting, is it at all possible, because PSG is as talented as you have said they are, is it at all possible that maybe, if this is a true story, that maybe it was just Red Star who was in on it, and their players who may have been in on it and said, all right, we know we have to lose by 5. Hey, PSG are good enough where they can put that many goals behind us or on us if we just don't try that hard. Is something like that possible, or is the fact that it had to be a 5-goal victory too much coordination to be just by one team?
Personally, my feeling on it, I don't think PSG had anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. And here's my biggest reason. I mean, this is once again, as we just said, this is PSG. Their players are some of the highest paid players in the world. Their guys don't need the money like that. Mm-hmm. When you start talking about fixing matches, it comes down to money when it's fixing matches. I mean, all these guys on PSG are millionaires. Oh, yeah. Red Star, on the other hand, that's more the club that you would associate with a match fixing scandal, because, like we said, it's not the champions of Moldova, but it's the champions of Serbia.
Yeah.
Those guys are not making nearly the salary. I mean, the best players in Serbia, what do? They get the hell out of Serbia. Yes. They go to the Premier League, they go to Serie A, they go to Germany, they go. I really don't think PSG had anything to do with it. And the thing is, did anyone blink an eye when it was, oh, yeah, PSG put 6 by Red Star?
Nope. Not at all.
No one believed that because, it was like last year with Liverpool putting 6s and 7s on people. Nobody was blinking an eye. Like, shit, they're just this good. They can score this many goals. So, I don't think the issue comes down to really into PSG's court. You just hate to kind of have PSG drug through this. Mm-hmm. Because once again, that does put it on a bigger scale, because suddenly you're talking about Neymar.
Yeah.
You're talking about Mbappe. And you're talking about this brand and the oil money. I don't see how you implicate PSG in this at all. For Red Star, this is really tough, though, because, this is a squad that, Red Star has a great history and pedigree. I mean, they've won the European Cup. Mm-hmm. And for them to get embroiled with this after being out of the competition for so long and getting back and then this happening, this is a real black eye for them.
So we'll see how this goes. This would obviously be, if it's one club, UEFA can probably sort of get by. But if somehow PSG is also implicated, this would be a crippling blow potentially to UEFA trying to re-legitimize itself along with its, I believe, parent organization FIFA in trying to get back legitimacy. So we'll see.
And it would be a crippling blow for PSG as well.
Yes.
Because if you're convicted of match fixing, there's got to be a severe penalty. Because there could not be a more severe crime in the game than altering the integrity of the game. You're talking a Champions League ban. Mm-hmm. I would expect a multi-year Champions League ban, which at that point, that is the entire PSG project.
Yeah.
And once again, that's another reason I don't feel PSG will be implicated as a participant in this.
Mm-hmm. Well, because
there's way too much for them to lose.
Well, and because, I mean, this was like sort of the goal, and this is, I think we've kind of discussed this a little bit before. PSG hasn't always been, I mean, in modern, like recent history, they have been the strongest La Liga, or not Liga, Ligue 1 team.
Yeah.
But it hasn't always been that way. I mean, they took all this money kind of getting injected to bring them back up and be this moving towards a global brand. So to throw that all away for not much money, it'd just be.
I mean, in the grand scheme, I mean, in the grand scheme to PSG, what's 10 million euros?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's our third string right back.
Yeah. So yeah. We'll see. We'll see where this goes for Red Star and for PSG. That is going to do it for news and notes. Wes, let's hit the watch for. What are you watching in the week that was or the week that will be?
With the eye surgery,
yes.
it's been a little slow week, but that said, I'm starting to catch up on Mayans, which is really good. I'm really into Mayans. I'm really enjoying that. American Horror Story is just magnificent this year.
Nice.
They're just blending everything together. I mean, some people, you can like or dislike the story all you want, but my God, I mean, they've struck gold bringing back the Coven Witches to me. And this week's show, the one that's actually on, as we're recording tonight, which when we're done, I'll probably watch actually, because I don't have to go tomorrow. That one is completely reincorporating Murder House season 1, which was still one of the absolute most popular seasons there's been. I think Ryan Murphy, they're doing a great job this year. They are doing a really good job, and that's after about 3 or 4 kind of subpar seasons that didn't totally pan out. I think Horror Story is doing a fantastic job this season. I'm continuing watching Justified on Prime. I'm going to try to maybe go see a movie tomorrow. I don't know exactly what yet. There's some good ones out right now.
Really? What? I haven't been really keeping up with the movie scene lately. What's good
right now Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga have the Star is Born, which is getting really, really good reviews. I've listened to the I've been listening to the soundtrack, which I actually got on Spotify, and I've been really impressed with it. Venom's out right now.
Oh, I forgot about Venom.
Yeah, Venom's out. A movie that I'm really, really excited to see is Bad Times at the El Royale.
I heard about that. That's a Tarantino movie, right?
I don't know if it's totally Tarantino. Well, let me pull it. Basically, God damn it. No, okay, that was earlier. Never mind. I thought they just hit another bomb. But yeah, I know it has 4 in it. I can't remember names all the time. It's got the Thor Hemsworth.
Oh, I thought you said 4. Sorry.
Yeah, it's got 4.
Yeah, Chris.
It's got Hemsworth brother Chris.
Not Larry.
Not Larry. It's got John Hamm. It's got the dude.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges is in it.
Yes.
It looks really, really good. There's a movie out called A Simple Favor, which has 2 of my absolute favorite Hollywood ladies, Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively in it.
I did see some.
Kind of got some thriller. That's a thriller. It's supposed to be good.
Really weird.
Yeah, thriller mystery kind of thing. But basically, you can put Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively, scrubbing floors, and I'm going to watch it because I love them.
It's true.
Love them.
They could have brought in Mr. Blake Lively, and it would have been even better.
Oh, Deadpool, Mr. Pool. The newest version of Halloween is coming out this.
Oh yeah.
Which actually looks pretty good. It looks like over the years they've kind of toned down the corniness a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
I think this is the 3rd Halloween.
Well,
Like, as in, this is the third movie
no,
called
because it's not
Halloween.
well, yeah, but the thing is, this isn't a reboot of the first one,
I know, it's so confusing.
and that's why. Yeah, that's why I don't understand why they're calling it this. But yeah, whatever. I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm kind of into seeing it. So I've got some movies to choose from. So I have to see. Oh, and I'll tell you what I'm really looking forward to coming out.
What's that?
Is I believe they're calling it Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, the Freddie
But it's
Mercury
basically
story.
it's basically the Freddie Mercury bioflick.
Yeah, what's his name?
Rami, is it Rami?
Remy Malek, yeah.
Rami Malek, yeah. God, that looks so good.
Yeah, one name producer Jackie really wants to see that.
Yeah, and I mean I like Queen anyway, but it looks super good. And he just looking at him, he passes very well for Freddie Mercury. Kind of has the jaw.
Yes, he does.
And the mouth kind of like Freddie Mercury, which is really distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and we've seen him in a lot of other stuff over the years. He's a good actor. So I'm expecting that. So that's kind of my watch for this week is, like I said, just kind of catching up, but also looking forward to the theatricals.
Nice. Yeah, just to go back real quick to American Horror Story. Not that I'm watching it, but I of course follow one Billy Eichner on Twitter, and so I've been seeing some interesting cast photos and backstage photos of that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of got a Mad Max thing going this season.
Fine. It's just fun. So is that a continuation from his character from last season?
No, different character. But he does have the same actress plays his wife again this season.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool. Good old anthology series. So for my watch 4, The Good Place is great as always. As they like to do, they like to drop big moral philosophy questions, and while explaining me versus us, and how we get past the whole us versus them problem, which, as one character mentioned, this is what contributes to racism and nationalism and why Stone Cold Steve Austin fans hate fans of The Rock. And as Kristen Bell's character, who loves Stone Cold, said, it's because The Rock sold out to Hollywood, unlike Steve Austin, so his fans are the real jabronis.
What?
Yep. That is a line from this show.
What?
So it's like,
my God, you've got me.
There you go. Kristen Bell she plays Arizona white trash so well. Like it's wonderful. But so yeah, that's really good. But I also did start watching the new season of Doctor Who has started over on the Beebs, the BBC America, or as I one time heard it called, British PBS. So that is back with a new lead character or lead actress in the role of the Doctor for the first time. The Doctor is a female. It's being played by Jodie Whittaker. She's fine. She was fine in her first episode. I hope she gets a little better, but we will see, because it was just one episode. Like the supporting cast actually better than her. So yay, we'll see how that goes from here. So that is it. But Wes, speaking of Stone Cold and The Rock and all the jabronis out there, I noticed we turned back the clock a little bit in our last So Raw, and it looks like we just keep turning it back, baby.
Nostalgia sales.
Let's get So Raw.
Oh, nostalgia sells, Ed. Hey,
Yes.
that's half of our shtick is nostalgia. So there you go.
It's kind of true.
Well, we'll talk. We'll touch a little bit. It's been a mixed bag this week for WWE. They had the big 1,000th episode of SmackDown. 1,000 episodes, the second longest running episodic weekly television show in TV history, behind only Monday Night Raw. So WWE's doing something right. We'll start on there, and then we'll get into the more unfortunate story going on right now. In
Hold
WWE.
up, Wes. I have breaking news.
Okay, go ahead.
That actually has crossover appeal between you and I, and actually fits very well into So Raw. I'm so sorry to bring this up. This is coming out. Team NXT versus Team WWE will battle in a League of Legends episode of Up, Up, Down, Down. I see here we have WWE Seth Rollins, Prince Pretty. Yeah, I guess that's
it's Tyler Breeze.
Ruby Riott, Cesaro, Johnny Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
Who else we got here? Adam Cole, Bay.
Adam.
Shayna.
Adam Cole versus by the way, Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins is a rematch. Right?
Nice. Shayna Baszler and Dakota Kai. Okay. So I don't know what's going to happen. I also do see I Am Cutie Pie, who is a famous League of Legends streamer. So I don't know what that means, but apparently it's happening. I'm sorry, please continue.
Seth Rollins, Adam Cole. I swear when that gets on the big stage, folks, it's going to blow socks off. It's going to be so fucking good.
Ooh.
Anyway, I just need Adam Cole to get to the main roster. Anyway, okay. Well, those obviously the people I'm about to talk about just because they're old. On Raw this week, we continued hyping the Brothers of Destruction versus the Generation X at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. That's what we're going to talk about on the backside in a moment, is the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, what may or may not be the Crown Jewel pay-per-view at this point. It's the Shawn Michaels comeback. It looks like WWE's kind of looking for Michaels to go at Crown Jewel, potentially go at Survivor Series, maybe the Royal Rumble, and also WrestleMania. Basically, Michaels hasn't wrestled in 10 years. But if anybody can walk out and do it, it's Shawn Michaels, because he's the greatest. To me, I mean, he's my favorite wrestler of all time. I think he's the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time. Flair had him beat on the mic, but Shawn Michaels is just freaking incredible on so many levels. Shawn Michaels is incredible. And then real quick, we'll hit the 1000th episode of SmackDown. They had to bring out the good old nostalgia acts for that because, once again, that's what we do. We love nostalgia, and none was better than the return of Evolution, a fantastic faction from the early to mid 2000s, which was at that point, and still now, at that point, Triple H was kind of on top of the world. He was the main man. You had the wily old veteran, the Nature Boy player, and then you had these two young up and comers who everyone just knew that something was going to hit for them: Randy Orton and a guy by the name of Dave Bautista, who everyone now knows as Drax. So, they come out and they basically just cut a promo. And at the end of it, Batista gets the microphone and actually cuts the longest part of the promo. And he said he had 4 things he wanted to say. He goes through the first 3, which aren't that memorable. And then the 4th one, he says it, and he starts just talking to each member of Evolution, about the good old days. And then he looks at Triple H as the last one he says, and then Triple H, he said, the man who's done everything in this business except beat me. And that place went crazy. I'm truly wondering at this point, are we looking at a potential, I could see a WrestleMania Triple H Batista match. Batista obviously has, the Hollywood behind him now, which the last time he made his return, he had been in some movies, but certainly nothing to the extent now. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy has pushed him into another level of stardom. I could see that. I could see them pushing that as a WrestleMania match because, they love to bring back a star. They love to bring back the old guys for WrestleMania. And I think at this point, people would be interested to see Triple H versus Batista. I would. Sure. Now, can they go? I know Triple H can go. Triple H just went with Undertaker the other. Triple H stays working. I don't know how much Batista has left, but it would definitely get buzz. And that's the big thing. It would definitely get buzz because, hey, he's basically a Hollywood A-lister at this point off of the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, that would be a big one for WWE.
Oh, yeah.
So that's some good stuff going on in WWE. Now for the big problem. As we mentioned earlier, the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. Wade, do you know anything about the Crown Jewel pay-per-view?
I don't, actually.
Okay, well, it is the second of a series of 10 big shows that have been signed over the next decade between the WWE and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. And we know what's currently going on in the political world in Saudi Arabia. That is not where you want to be. You do not want to be, partnering with them at the moment.
Yeah. Especially
after, what they're describing as a tragic accident, what the Turkish government is describing as murder. A lot of people have recently pulled out of deals with Saudi Arabia. There is a rumor that WWE is going to pull out of this pay-per-view. But they have not made it official, and they're getting from a lot of pundits for taking a wait-and-see kind of stance at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the biggest thing. WWE could stand to lose nearly $20 million if they breach this contract. So, that's the thing. There is big money involved in this. Now, that said, I have read something that it has been taken off the calendar at the moment. But they have not announced that they've canceled this show or changed it or anything like that. But there could be big implications to this, storyline and financial-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to definitely talk about watch for what's going to happen here. This is WWE really treading some thin ice with this. Really treading thin ice with this. And he did not tag the bag. That's a Phantom tag. He saved second. Good job, Korea. So we'll just, this is one of those, hey, there, as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep an eye and follow this, but not good PR news at the moment for WWE.
I'm also seeing a little bit. I just searched for it here on the DuckDuckGo, and I'm seeing that there's some let's see. I'm trying to really quickly skim through this article. It seems like this article says WWE talent is uncomfortable with Saudi Arabia show. I'm not seeing anybody actually say they're uncomfortable in this article.
Yeah, that's one of those they just,
Randy Orton says WWE's Saudi Arabia show must go on. Some apparently, I guess, let's see, this is, although who knows if this is true. This website reported that a number of WWE superstars have expressed that they may be uncomfortable with going to Saudi Arabia, which, hey, I can understand why right now. Yeah, this is not great.
Yeah, this is, obviously I've questioned booking decisions, for the show. This is totally different, but this is scheduled for November 2nd.
Huh.
So, not a lot of time in here. Not a lot of time. It's a WWE Network exclusive pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. This is a really tough call. It is a lot of money on the line here.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yay.
But anyway, that's
Apparently this was also talked about on Last Week Tonight, which I haven't seen this week's episode. Concluding with footage of wrestling star John Cena thanking the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
I mean, you know, nobody does the promos like John Cena. And I mean, you know, if Cena, you know, it was, hey, John, we need you to cut a promo thanking Saudi Arabia. You know, I mean, it's not like John Cena went into that promo, oh my God. No, I mean, John Cena's just doing what they asked him to do. So.
The awkward thing is, I mean, Cena is kind of a brand. I mean, fuck, where did I see him?
He's on the Today Show constantly.
Well,
I mean, he's doing movies.
I saw him
just released a children's book.
I saw him in a commercial the other week for, I think, paper towels in a grocery store or something with his mom.
Those Hefty commercials.
Yes, those.
Yeah.
John
Cena is a brand. John Cena is the biggest brand WWE has, right?
Yeah. So I feel like he would be one that. Granted, I don't know because again I haven't watched the episode and I don't actually know when the footage was taken from. Because I mean, didn't they do something in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, they had one back in May.
Okay.
They did after WrestleMania. They did a big.
Right, that's right.
Great.
Yeah, because it was like some weird Royal Rumble kind of thing, right?
The greatest Royal Rumble, whatever. I've never actually watched it, but yeah, it was like a 50-man Royal Rumble, I believe.
There you go. So maybe it was from there. I don't know. But I do feel like, I do feel like Cena would actually be a guy who would be able to like tell WWE, no, I'm not doing this. If this.
That said, I'll even believe John Cena's booked for this right now.
Oh, probably. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing. You know, right now John Cena is very much a part-time guy right now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to assume around WrestleMania season you'll see Cena back in a program building up to something. But I mean, right now, we haven't seen John Cena on WWE TV in a while. You know, he's grown his hair out. He no longer has the crew cut. I mean, I've seen him on the Today Show more in the last few months than I've seen him on WWE. So.
Well, damn.
All me is right. But this could have big implications, like I said. But also, I've seen something say that if this gets called off, it could shut down the whole Shawn Michaels comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was such a part of it. So
yeah. I'm sure they'd be able to figure out something.
You would figure so.
Maybe they come up with the angle that Saudi Arabia, they just couldn't handle the crotch chopping, and so they can't.
Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to storyline this. It's more been like they just haven't mentioned it this week. I mean, they've stopped promoting it. It hasn't come up in the commentary. Oh, Crown Jewel coming up, you know. Where a week ago it was all they were talking about, Crown Jewels.
Well,
if this doesn't happen, that'll be how it's done in WWE. It will just be Chris Benoit. It will just never be mentioned again.
Who?
Exactly.
Hey, fun story. I think I heard this on the Super Best Friend cast. I believe so. There was like an unrelated article, and someone else's mom is last name Benoit.
Uh-huh.
And her name gets like automatically redacted because they can't have anything about Benoit.
Well, I think I've told you before about trying to go find like a and I mean it's like, you know, they've got a lot of the old shows especially time stamped, so you can go right to what match you want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But once I wanted to go watch this famous triple threat between, it was actually Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like, it closed out, I think, WrestleMania 20 or something. It was this huge match. And Benoit won. When you go in and try to watch it, there's no time for it.
Oh, no.
You have to just, I mean, it's still there. They've still got the match on there, but there's no time. You can't just go right to it because it would say Shawn Michaels, Triple H versus Chris Benoit. And they just do not have it on there. It's crazy, man.
Oh, Benoit.
It is crazy. Hey, buddy, I'll tell you one thing about WWE. You get blackballed. They're good at that.
You get black Benoit balled.
Black Benoit balls. Oh, thank you, Archer.
Oh,
by the way, I introduced my mom to Archer today.
How'd that go?
Well, she only saw a very, very tiny and controlled amount of Sterling Archer.
So you didn't show her the ridiculously graphic Archer and Lana sex scene?
No.
Okay.
She it was this Facebook. I follow this Facebook page called Binging with Babish, and this guy a lot of times what he'll do is he'll take dishes that you like see in movies or something or TV shows, and he'll create them for real.
Oh, cool.
So he made Eggs Woodhouse.
Oh.
And took one bite. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't eat this. It's so rich, I can't eat." Broccoli.
Oh.
That's obviously in relation.
Steve.
Brock Holt just walked bases loaded 7-5 Red Sox.
Hell.
Top of the seventh, by the way. So we're definitely finishing before this.
Oh
playoff.
God, yes.
But yeah. So she watched him make Eggs Woodhouse, and then I let her hear like about 5 Archer quotes, including Danger Zone, which I told her was our bit in football. Yes. Danger Zone.
Oh, is that why you boys are always saying that?
So she thinks he's funny now. I'm like, yeah, he's funny. That's right. Very funny.
Mother.
Mother.
That is so.
I did explain to her the mother-son relationship between Sterling and Mallory.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have time, and I don't try to send me to a shrink. So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Well,
anyway,
that is going to be where we come to the end of this episode of the Foreign Affair podcast. Definitely before the end of the Red Sox-Astros game. So real quick, one more time, want to thank NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We never stop. Also, Alicia's Pillows and Things. If you like pillows as well and or things,
I love them both.
Hey, things are great. Check it out. Just type Alicia's Pillows and Things into the old Facebook machine, and you can check out all of Alicia's wares on there. You can also find NGSC Sports on Twitter. We're on Twitter as a collective. We are at AFA Pod. Wes, you are?
I'm at West Bradshaw 21.
I am at Edward Green. We also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube via our parent show, The All New Sports Show. You can also email us, allnewsportshow@gmail.com. Lastly, I want to thank our podcast providers, including Podbean.com, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn Radio app, Google Play Music, and, the iTunes Music Store. So with that, we will be back next week, I believe. Wes, you're back next week?
Yeah, I'll be here next week.
Okay, great. We'll be back talking about, of course, Chelsea taking on Manchester United and the rest of the week in Premier League football.
We'll talk about the Prem.
Oh, we're back. The Prem is back, baby. But Wes, before we get out of here, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I know we've talked about it some, but this Red Sox Astros series, man, this is a hell of a series.
Yeah. Like, I'd be it might end in 5 and still be super close the entire time.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, just the fact you have 108 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the most ever wins, like, between two teams ever to face off in the playoffs. I mean, this is huge. This is big time.
Yes. I think we narrowly beat the 98 World Series.
I believe so, yeah. But, I mean, a 108 and a 103.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, you don't get that every day, folks. So that's awesome. And let's see what Mitch Moreland does. Damn it. Ground up to first. All right. So we let the bases loaded. Go to the bottom of the 7th. We're up to. High school football has been so start and stop this year because of weather. But we are chugging along. It is week 3 of the Big East season. Rocky Mount stopped Hunt last week. So if Rocky Mount can get past Fight this week, and Southern Nash can get past Hunt, which shouldn't be too big of an issue on either side. And we can be set up next. We will be set up next week for the undefeated Rocky Mount versus undefeated Southern Nash game that I've been waiting for because we finally got this game on the schedule.
That's so tasty.
I forced it. Clint's looking at me going, we're going to Southern times. I said, well, it'll be worth it.
Yes.
I said, because we're getting Rocky Mount Southern, so shut up.
Hells yeah. So I guess that will then do it for this episode of the pod. So for my call in crime, Wes Bradshaw, I am Edward Green. Thank you so much for joining us here on episode 232 of the Foreign Affair podcast. Until next time, everyone out there, stay safe and enjoy the football.
I love you guys, and good night, Houston. been a hell of a series, guys.
Yeah. It really has. It's been a good one.
This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on NGSCsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.